All right, everybody, welcome back to the Angels Rebuild Series here on MLB The Show 25. We are now in the 2026/2027, basically prepping for the 2027 season. We made it to the wild card for the first time in the series and just fell short, losing to the Guardians down to the last game of that 3-game series. It was a tough one, but we learned quite a bit about it. We learned about ourselves. We know what we can do, and I have good faith in where we're at. Currently, right now, we have 38 players on the active 40-man roster, which means this free agency could go crazy, may not. It just depends on what we decide to do. The offense, I thought, was hitting pretty well. It was the rotation that we need to get in order. And we do have some players right now currently on our block. When you look at the Angels, I'm testing out the free agency. I'm looking at maybe trying to package somebody like a Reed Detmers and a Conforto onto this one. Jorge Soler's on here, but he's not going to be on this thing. Victor Gonzalez, Connor Brogdon are also players that I could see potentially doing it. We're going to sign Adrian Placencia, and when he accepts it, there's a chance that he can get traded in the spring training over to getting another piece there. So if we let go of these players here, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that could really work out. 3 of these players are currently, or 4 of them are currently on the active 40-man roster. So you got to think about, does that give us room to work through it? And there are some teams that are interested, like the Padres, the Mets, and the Giants. Conforto, looks like the Pirates and the Dodgers are interested. And then with Moniak, it's the Dodgers, the Pirates, and the Giants. I think if I'm going to do anything, I'd probably send Conforto to the Pirates. I'd probably look at sending Detmers maybe to the Mets or the Padres. And then with Victor, so it's like Moniak to the Giants, Conforto to the Pirates, and Detmers to the Mets or the Padres. So we'll be able to kind of spread the wealth there if need be. The first thing is around exclusive negotiations, which with Soler, we don't really need to do much. I think we're okay in this space, and I'm comfortable with that part right there. When you look at our budget this year, we have $79 million potentially there. That does take into account the arbitration and renewal estimates as well. So I'm not upset about that at all. I think we got a good crew there, and I'm excited to see what we can do at this point. So we're going to go ahead, sim this here, get us to the free agency market. And here's where we're at. Is the last day for qualifiers. We do not want to stop there. So we got to work on our 40-man roster. There's a couple players that could be up for draft right now. And do we care? I don't think any of these players that are currently on that. And my word, we have 37 players, like I talked about already, that are on the active 40. You got Ibanez and Gonsolin that are ready for a potential pickup here. And Gonsolin, he's a guy I'd like to make an offer on. There's no way I'm going to do anything like that. I think they said, what was it? What was the number? It says previous salary. So Gonsolin is up for a big contract. So he's asking for about $11.5 million. I just don't see us doing that for a 32-year-old. Like, I'd bring him in for maybe like 10, but I also got to be okay to let him go. Ibanez, he's probably asking for a decent chunk, $2.5 million, nothing too crazy. But we have a ton of third basemen that I'm okay to move on from. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these players off our roster. Ibanez and Gonsolin, let's go ahead and release them. Get them off our board so I don't got to worry about that player there. So that's always good to do, so you don't got to sweat it. So we remove them off the roster there. No more arbitration. We can tender some contracts, which I'll work on doing. But before doing that, right, so we got 35 players on the roster. Let's check out the free agency and let's see what's out there. As far as needs are concerned, You know, I got to think about the infield. I think with Cabrera at third base, Rengifo potentially playing third base, I don't really need to worry about that position. I don't think we have to worry about the catcher. Ohapi and Pages are there. I think the closer with Ben Joyce is just fine. The relief is good to go. I think the starting pitcher is definitely a need. I really want to emphasize that. I want to look at outfield. So left field, center field, we got to continue to lean on there. I think those are the three positions I want to hit. I think the infield is fine. So I want to get the outfield in order there. Left field, right field. Let's say an 11th because of Trout, but I think we're probably going to need that because we have Dubon that can play center field. So I'm not worried about that spot there. So I want to get the outfield in order. So those are the positions of need that I have. As far as hitting, I'd like to see somebody that's like, I don't know if we want, I'd probably say a left-handed batter. I'd like to see, I'd like to look at a pitcher, a power pitcher or something like that. Don't really care if they're left-handed or right-handed. So we're going to look at some of these guys that are out there. What the heck was that about? That was weird. So let's check out what's out there, right? They got the recommended pitchers for us. So you got Skubal, who is out there. Tarek Skubal is a 97 overall pitcher, 30 years old. This guy is a dog now, but his regression, you can clearly see here. He dropped from 192 innings down to 171, and his ERA jumped dramatically. His WAR was still 4.5, but that's something we need to pay attention to there. You got Garrett Crochet, another solid lefty. He's only 27 years old. This guy's improved his ERA despite playing on the, he's played on the White Sox. That he improved his games being used. You're talking about a guy that's got a ton of different pitches available to him with the four-seamer, cutter, sweeper. So he could be the potential replacement for Reed Detmers if we decided to let go of Reed. We got a lefty that I can feel very, very comfortable with there. I think that would be kind of clean on that one. So we'll continue to look through that there. I think Garrett Crochet could be a good one. You got when we look at the recommended, when we just look at, so with starting pitchers there's some other ones. Freddie Peralta, good righty. This guy's got good freaking abilities. He played for the Brewers. His ERA went up a little bit, but I don't know if that's because he was bad or if maybe the Brewers were bad. Shane Bieber, we went against this guy. 31 years old. He was a very targeted pitcher, man. He did well. Brady Singer, 30-year-older player right there out of Cincy. He improved his ERA, 14-8 record. He played for a playoff team, 3.3 WAR. So Singer could be interesting. Jesus Luzardo, looking for a new home at 29 years old. ERA is about a 4. Chris Sale, 37 years old. I mean, you bring in a guy like this, he can help out with your bullpen. You don't need him to start. I mean, he's got the ability to start, but you can put him in the rotation and let him play a lot more games there. Jack Flaherty is out there. Nestor Cortez, no thank you. Patrick Sandoval, we could bring him back. He played for Boston for 2 years. We could potentially bring him back, but he didn't look like he improved much there. Brandon Woodruff, 34-year-old guy. This is not a bad player to bring in. I think, again, this is a player that could be a part of the bullpen. You have him work through that. Luis Garcia, solid player there, 30 years old. Soroka is out there. Bryce Wilson. So some pretty good starters. When you look at the relievers, Brian Abreu, no one wants this guy. Someone's probably going to sign him, but no thanks there. I don't really think we need much on the reliever standpoint. It truly is the starter aspect of it. But you look at James Karinchak, 31 years old. Him and Luke Weaver can kind of ball out. That wouldn't be a bad move there. You look at the closers, right? We got Joyce. Do we really need to upgrade that? You bring in Pete Fairbanks, who in Boston did pretty decent, 41 saves, similar to Ben Joyce. So it's not really that much of a need there. I don't think we need to go nuts in that space. When you look at catchers, don't really care. I'm looking at infield, not really. I mean, there's some pretty good infielders, but there's no one here that I really want to surpass Christian Moore or Kyron Paris. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Third base, Cabrera, Rengifo, you know, again, it's like, I think our infield is fine. Shortstop, there's again some interesting guys. Henseon Kim. I mean, Cabrera could play that behind, if need be. Dubon, hell, can play in the infield if we need to. So I really want to concentrate on the outfield. And the sad part is it doesn't look like there's too many younger outfielders. Now, I see someone like Randy Arozareno. His durability is there. He's solid against lefties. I mean, how did he do last year? 237. I mean, I don't need that. Like, we could potentially bring back Taylor Ward. How fun would that be? He left. He played over in Tampa Bay, right? He got traded to Tampa Bay halfway through the year. We ended up bringing Shane Baz. They use him there. He hits 14 home runs, 272 average. I mean, Taylor Ward's 33 years old, but he knows our system. He primarily be focused on just contact. Taylor Ward still has an arm too, so I could look at Taylor Ward, but I'm trying to get younger, and that's my issue right here. There isn't too much youth out there until you get into the lower OVRs there. So Jake Fraley could be interesting, but I just don't see it there. I mean, you could grab another center, and you look at these guys. Dalton Varsho seems to be the best one. He could play outfield. He could play left field. I mean, you could move Dubon to left. We could snag up Varsho, who's got incredible fielding, and I wouldn't be upset about that. He's 30 years old. He had a 218 average. That's the issue. It's kind of like a Tommy Edman kind of feel as far as hitting. He didn't do as much, and it doesn't look like he had too many games. He played 81, so I wonder if he's got an injury concern that we're not. No, his durability is high. So Dalton Varsho is someone we can look at. Technically, you can go after Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger tends to be the hired hitman for many teams. It's just not a feel for me. Look at right field. You got Victor Robles out there, 29 years old. The guy's got great contact against righties. Seems to be solid there. Decent against lefties, just not a whole lot of power. His arm is there, his fielding's there, and he's aggressive on the base running. So he had a really good year last year. 303 average, kind of averaged around the last 4 years, did very well. So when you see something like that, Victor Robles could be the dog. Nick Castellanos, see, again, these are all older guys. I don't want to deal with older players right there. So there's a decent amount of free agents. We're going to go ahead and set our priorities up. I will talk through them in just a moment, but now I know some of these priorities, and I'm hoping we can snag them. So these are the current players that I have right now as my priority on the big board. I'm looking at Garrett Crochet. He's wanting a big, decent deal. 7 years, $38.6 million. That's not bad for us. Victor Robles, he's 24th ranked FA out there. He's an outfielder. 5 years, 17.7. And then we're looking at another outfielder, Dalton Varsho. These are guys here that I think can help us out, round out that free agent, that free agent group out there, and give us some hits. That's what I'm looking for. We don't have someone outside of Trout. We do actually, technically, we got somebody in Logan O'Hoppe that can hit dingers, but most of us are about just getting on base. So I like this right now. I think that's going to help us out. We'll kind of keep it rolling here and see what we get. I'm not sure if we're going to have anybody for an extended period of time. We've tendered all our contracts. There's a couple players I'm actually not re-signing, and just kind of hoping to see where we stand there. Doesn't look like we have anything yet. As far as trade talks, I don't want to move on Crochet yet. I mean, on Reed Detmers just yet, unless I can figure that out. But I am trying to figure out if we should move on Conforto. I think you don't want to necessarily move on Conforto unless you get unless you get a decent offer there. I am looking at prospects. I'd love to see if we can bring in some relievers potentially there. But I don't want to trade with a team that isn't necessarily within my realm. I don't want to see Converto in my division, so my conference. So I want to look at seeing if I can send him away. And I'm thinking maybe over to, trying to think, maybe the Braves or something like that. Getting a Brave wouldn't be a bad. They're trying to give us pitchers. You got a center fielder here in the Marlins. That's pretty good. I mean, you send him to the Mets, we can get a potential backups. That's not bad in the Mets. Franklin Gomez, 21 years old. Calvin Ziegler, another starting pitcher. This right here is just more of just trying to fill out our roster. So I'd look at the Mets. That's not bad there. So let's do this. Let's go over to the Mets, see where they stand. I think some of these trades are not really fair because it doesn't make any sense why you would bring in a 21-year-old Franklin Gomez over. He was undrafted, so maybe that could be the reason why they don't really have a whole lot of reason for him. I think you look at someone like Franklin Gomez, that could be a pretty solid deal there. 21 years old. You get some youth in this core here. Wondering if there is an outfield prospect or something that they have that's not bad. I mean, Lawrence Green's got a 50 overall. He was drafted in the 5th round. He's gonna need some time, but I'm wondering if that could work. It says we'll need a little bit more. So it's pretty much, that's the trade. Franklin Gomez there. So I don't think that's necessarily out of the realm of possibility. Do they need a left fielder? I mean, they got Brandon Nemo, MJ Melendez. They need an outfielder, it looks like. You got Juan Soto and you need someone. Yeah, that's actually not bad. So I think the starting pitcher is a little out of the realm there. I think I'd like to go after maybe a potential reliever, someone that's not going to be too crazy, but I'm also not going to get reamed on either. I mean, I really like that left fielder that's got that B potential. It's kind of far away there, but and he's not going to cost us a whole lot of money there. I know. And if there was a potential, well, they got Clay Holmes. Oh gosh, good luck with that, fellas. I'd say if we can take, I mean, is Jerome within the realm of possibility there? He was drafted in the 4th round. Gomez was the undrafted one, so I gotta think about this because I'm not gonna get smoke. Humberto, this is more of a reliever kind of guy, and Humberto's 28. I want a little bit of room. I wonder if Robert works out. So I think this is fair. We get Robert Dominguez. He's a prospect. That's what I'm looking for here. And then we take a lefty who's got B potential in Lawrence Green. So 2 prospects to help us fill out that roster. We move on from Converto. I think that's a fair move for us. And we wish him the best of luck there. So not bad in that space. We make room to take that out. I think as much as I'd love to keep some of these other guys, you got to know when it's time to move on. And that's the issue right there is it's time. Now, as far as suggested trades for Placencia, there's a reliever in Justin Slayton from the Red Sox. I don't really want to send him there. Probably send him maybe to the Giants or something. But 33, so maybe we could do like a Moniak one. That might not be bad. So the Giants, not send him to the Dodgers. Diamondbacks maybe. They're looking at some Ryan Thompson. So we can actually bring in some guys to help it out. So that's good to know there. So that's our first trade. Nothing too crazy on that one. We'll kind of keep it moving. Still no word out yet. I guess you just kind of keep it going. So today's the day to offer contracts. Let's see what we got here. So Motivation to sign has gone up to 21%. You got other guys here that really are gunning for him. The Mariners, the Red Sox, and the Padres. Victor Robles is super pumped about it, but Dalton Varsho is interested. I wonder if we can try to offer him a contract now. 19 million. That's like less than 5. I wonder if we can go up to like... Oh, no, that's 20 per year. Oh, shoot. I didn't even... Oh, wow. Dalton Varsho. Whoa, I didn't... It's 17 per year. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. 38.6 million, folks. I can't do these. I think we're going to remove this guy off the board. Oh my gosh. I mean, Victor's the only one I'd go for then. We got to remove it. Oh my gosh. I mean, wow. I didn't even think it was that. I thought it was 17 total. Wow. 23, 22, 24. So it's like, if we make this move, they got to be our guy, I guess. $38.6 million per year. This is pretty much your dog for the length of this thing. I mean, I guess it's not bad. We're moving to priority 1. That really isn't bad. I'd say you gotta think through that now. Man, this I didn't even think. I was not paying attention. That's on me. I thought it was 16, 12. And these guys are asking for a ton. 11.6 for Taylor Ward. We just traded Conforto, who's about the same age as him, so don't really want to do that. You got Jake Bowers here. What is he asking for? About 10? Jake's not bad. Oh my gosh. Randall Kreshak, he's 35. Tyrone Taylor. We could, it's funny, we could bring back Jorge Soler, but that's just not going to work out. Like, holy hell, man. I mean, we got the cash. I got to remember not to be so stingy, too. It's just, I guess I got to do it. I got no choice. We got $100 million to spend, too, because we let go of Conforto. So maybe we are fine. I don't know why I freaked out. That's my bad there. So let's go ahead and offer him a contract. I think... I mean, is Varsho gonna be a 5-year deal? He's 30 years old. I'd say let's try to send him the offer. Let's see if we can do it. I don't think you just made the first competitive offer to this top 25 free agent. I think that's a fair move right there. Can't offer anything for Victor yet. Hoping he can want to rock with us. Put him down as 3 priority. So. Yeah, we gotta get him to 50%. That's the key thing there. Yeah, we don't really have much to do. We have 34 players available. I mean, is there anybody else we could potentially, move up? I think Bruno is moving up to the MLB. I think we gotta say that now. You gotta get him going. He took 1 year there. Let's get him up. And let's rock with them. I think that lets us know we're going to be okay. You got Caden Donna ready to roll. Mason Erla, 29 years old. I don't think anyone's going to send him away. Michael Crosby. Man, this is nuts. Victor Medeiros, he's on the 40-man. Do you bring him up? Potentially. We got to work on that. Ooh, it says Victor Robles is on a rumored to be close to signing with these teams. Do we go for him now or never? I'd say their motivation to sign with their team can be found here. We would need to sign this guy for a mega deal. I mean, it'd be about $20 million a year for Victor Robles at 27 years old. Is that even worth it? I mean, I think you give him 19 million. I think that's a fair offer. If he signs with us, great. But we'll see what Victor does. The decision is submitted. Did he accept it? Calculations coming through. What the hell is going on? And he says, oh, he's going to the Phillies. He took a 1903 for 4 years. He did not want to come to the Angels. Unreal. Oh, that hurts a lot, dude. That hurts a lot. Oh, looks like a contract signing has happened, but we did get Dalton Varsho. 5 years, 19.4 million, 30 years old, little older guy, but I think that's a good move for us. We get an opportunity to bring in another outfielder. It's a kind of a big chunk of change there for us. 100%. It's a very big chunk of change, but I think we got the cap. When you look at our budget, we got 81 million left to spend, so I'm not freaking out. I think that having someone like Varsho means I don't have to play Trout in the outfield now. He could play designated hitter all day long. If he needs to play, it'll be very rare for him to be out there, but he'll be in every game now. So you got to be pumped about that. So we can continue to go here. So these are the free agents I'm looking at. I'm going to try to go after the top freaking pitchers here. One of these guys hopefully will sign with us. We'll see, man. It's kind of rough that we don't really have anyone that wants to come over here. If that ends up happening, we'll pivot and try to grab some other long relievers or some older starters that we can kind of put into the bullpen for a long reliever. I want to have a good veteran around there that could potentially start and be in the rotation, but also be in the bullpen if need be. So we're going to try to go with Crochet, Screwball. We're going to go for it. We got 81 million. Let's try to lean into this, man, and hopefully it works out for us. Taylor Ward is the guy I'd like to bring back. I don't think that's a bad move for us. He's not a bad outfielder. He can hit DH if need be, but I think Taylor Ward could be pretty nice for us. Okay, folks, so Garrett Crochet is looking to sign. He's a young pitcher. He wants a 7-year deal for $38.6 million. This is a top 25 free agent. We already grabbed one in Varsho. If he gets snagged up, it'll be with the Phillies, the Mariners, or the freaking Red Sox. Here's the thing. We got the cash to do it. So even if we sign this guy, it could work out for us. Now, do you sign this guy for a mega deal? I mean, potentially. But I'm wondering if we were to sign him for like a $40 million contract, would that work out for us? I'm going to send it in. Let's see if it works out. $42 million a year is insane, but Crochet is one of those pitchers that could really evolve this rotation, and I think can help us out. If it doesn't work out, we got to look at making a trade with another team here. Good luck out there. Crochet is a Red Sox. He took a 9-year deal for $36.67 million. So he wanted that longer deal there. Tough one, $330 million. But Brandon Lowe, he signs with the Pirates. So that's tough. That's a tough one right there, but it's okay. You know, it's not the end of the world. We're going to try to see what happens. Because it looks like the Tigers are willing to go after him. We'll see what works out there. I think if I were to grab somebody else, I think it's going to be a reliever, folks. I think that's what I'm going to do there. I mean, you got Chris Bubik here. He's a lefty, 29 years old. He had a tough time, but I think it's because they had him. He pitched 100 innings. And with the rotation that we have, we don't need him to do that. He's got decent cutter. He's an okay breaking ball. I mean, you could bring someone like him in there as a decent guy. I mean, Drew Rasmussen, he's got the heat. That's what I like about and he was an all-star last year. 31 years old, pitched 109 innings, 1.73 ERA. That's a guy I'd like to bring in there and hopefully make it work. Now, Taylor Ward is looking for a 2-year deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'll try to give him maybe a little bit under 12. I think that's a fair deal there. And, you know, hopefully he accepts it. We got to wait on these guys here. Tarek Screwball, though, if he makes it to us, great. If not, that's when we make the trade. We send Mickey Moniak, Reed Detmers, and we go for somebody. And you gotta be okay with that. We solidify the outfield. I think that'll be good. I think the third base situation's not the end of the world there. And then the starting pitchers, I can see ourselves making a move in that space there. We'll kind of keep him rolling here, see what happens. Brian Abreu signs a 4-year deal, $38.4 million. So the Orioles get a guy right there that pitches pretty decent. Taylor Ward, the contract decision is in. Number 68 ranked free agent is coming back to the Angels. So Taylor Ward took a 2-year deal, $11.95 per year. Not bad at all. I think that helps us out with the outfield. Chaz Chisholm going to the Dodgers. 6 years, $21.4 million a year, $128.3 million deal. Chisholm going from one mega giant team to another there. You'll love to see that. All members must have contracts tendered. Would you like to stop simulating? Yes. So let's see the free agents here. So rival. So Ian Happ. You heard through the grapevine that the Athletics are looking at Ian Happ. Do we really need him? $16.1 million? Look at his playing card. Ian Happ wasn't even on our board. Not interested, dude. I want Rasmussen. I want Skubal. Those are the guys I'd like here. Is there anybody else I'm super pumped about? Not really. So Josh Rojas is making a decision, and he says, if we're trying to motivate, you've done the opposite and decrease competitive offers only. So good luck with that. I wasn't going to try to sign the guy. It didn't make any sense. So I'm trying to sign this guy here, Thomas Bingham. Hopefully he signs for us. He's a 19-year-old reliever that I think, it'll just help us out with the depth there. Rasmussen now is ready to roll. He's not asking for a whole lot, but with the cap space that we have, I just want to try to see if I can get him. $9.7 million there. And then you got Patrick Sandoval here, $15.6 million. I mean, if we sign him to a 3-year deal, would that work out? Probably not. I'd say 15.6 is just fine. We leave about $53 million in cap space there. I think that helps us out. Gives us some room. Kind of keep it rolling here. Free agencies happen. Sandoval is up. He's making a decision. And he's back with the Angels. So we bring back some guys that were once with the team. Taylor Ward, we traded him to Tampa Bay. He ends up coming back. Sandoval did not extend with us. Went to the Red Sox. Now he's back. So we bring in another guy in the rotation here that I think can help us out. That's 27, 38, 39. So we got room for one more. I mean, yeah, Sandoval did accept it. Contract decision is being made. Does Rasmussen sign with us? Or is it the young 19-year-old that we're going to have kind of work down in the minor league? Contract is signed. And Drew Rasmussen is a Los Angeles Angel. Number 11th FA. Number 11th ranked FA out there. So again, we're building up this crew, getting it going. I think that's a good move for us. So I'm looking at this right here. There's a 22-year-old first baseman with A potential and a right fielder that's 51 from the Braves. There really isn't anybody too crazy that would like to trade for us. And we got to be cool with that. I think you try to take someone a little younger. You remove some cap. Roger Cavedo from the Padres isn't bad there. So we'll be able to remove that. So check this out. Adrian Morejon would like to play for the Angels here. He's a reliever, 28 years old out of Cuba. I'm interested in Morejon, but I don't know if we really want, man, it wouldn't be bad. He's not out. Dude, he really wants to play for us. I'm trying to think of the amount of relievers we have, though. I think we got a ton. I don't think we have to mix it up right there. His motivation's maxed out. If we offered him a contract, I'm gonna throw it out there because if he ends up signing with us, and then I'll just have to pivot. But we'll see. I think Morejon trying to play, but Woodruff, I'd like to offer him a contract now. We get a 2-year deal. I'll go a little bit less than 17 million. I mean, if both those guys sign with us, that'd be pretty sweet right there. Woodruff making the decision right now. 2-year deal. He's coming to the Angels, so this is good right here. This is about a guy who could potentially start for us, but then play in the in the bullpen, and that's what I wanted here. Just some more guys to work out. Contract decision for Morahone. He's coming here, so we got a ton of players now. So we have 40 men on the roster. We have a situation here now where we got too many players. So this is where I could do a mega trade to kind of get this right here. We have 40 men on the roster, but maybe we can make a move here. So one of the things I was thinking is like Chase Silseth, for example, right? So if we make a trade here, this is a very active freaking free agency. I did not expect it. So we go like Victor Medeiros. We go like, I guess Silseth. We'll go Chase Silseth, right? So those are two right there where I'm like, they're kind of on the cusp. And then maybe we can add a 40 man down the road. But these are guys that are currently, I think both of them, or Victor, he's down to AAA. So we send two of these guys over, right? And then maybe the Mickey Moniak deal makes sense. So if we were to do that and try to get some other prospects, what could that do? So maybe we can go for a 3 for 2 kind of deal. And you got some options there. That wouldn't be bad. Michael Arias, starting pitcher. You got Alex Vargas there. I think we would have to go like a 3 for 2 kind of deal to help us out here. There's an 18-year-old Trey Morgan, a first baseman. So I'm going to look at these options and we'll talk through it. Ooh. So the player the Blue Jays want to send us is Cedric Ramirez. So we would send him Victor Medeiros, Chase Silseth, and Mickey Moniak over to the Blue Jays. Do they need a center fielder? Yes, they do. They don't have one. So Moniak would be an instant starter for them. We would remove about $8 million on our cap. That gets us in the range that I want there. But Cedric Ramirez, what I like about him, this is the crazy move. Cedric Ramirez, he's so low on the totem pole there that he's not going to be playing anytime soon. So they're kind of impatient. They want to use some guys that are going to be ready, and that's not an issue with us. But we get a former first round. He was just drafted last year. So for them to give up on this kid already, I say, why the heck not? Let's take him. I think this is a good move for us. We get to take, we get to get rid of a guy, and this opens up. Check this out now. So now we are back to even. That's 26 gets us to 35, 36. Is that right? So a player I'm looking to trade for is an infielder. I'm looking at a backup shortstop because we got too many pitchers. We brought in a bunch. We kind of retooled that group. And the one player that's available right now, they wanted to send us Blaze and Enrique Hernandez, which to me I think is a little over too much. I think Blaze Alexander being a 27-year-old shortstop is fair. This guy's a 72 overall. He can play second base and third base, so he's got that versatility in the infield. But what I like is we could leverage him to go against lefties. He won't be in the righty situation there. We can put him in against lefties. He's got durability there. His arm is strong as heck, so we can have him play second base and third base more than likely. His speed's there as well, so he can do that. He didn't play too much. He was kind of building up, but I think this helps us out. His potential is a B as well. And we get to move on from a pitcher that just did not fit us. I was hoping for it. Last year in MLB The Show, he actually did very well. It just didn't work out for us, and it's actually starting to look like that in real life too. So we snag up a shortstop. I think that helps retool it. As you can see there, we now are pretty much full across the board. That does get us, though, however, to 36 players. So I got to work on who's my 40 man, and I'm going to do that right now, and we'll talk through it. Okay, so now we have our 40-man roster. Here's what it's looking like. Zach Neto, Mike Trout, Dalton Varsho, Drew Rasmussen, Brandon Woodruff, Shane Baz, Ben Joyce, Logan O'Hoppe, Luis Rengifo, Taylor Ward, Will Vest, Jose Soriano, Luke Weaver, Joe Adell, Patrick Sandoval, Bruno Ramirez, Nolan Shanuel, Jack Kakanowitz, Pedro Pages, Mauricio Dubon, Oswaldo Cabrera, Caden Donna, Adrian Morahone, Blaze Alexander, Hans Kraus, George Clausen, Christian Moore, Gilbert Villalobos, Samuel Aldeguerri, Brock Burke, Buddy Kennedy, Bryce Teodosio, Sam Bachman, Michael Crosby, Nico Cavadas, Denzer Guzman, Abram Liendo, Kyron Paris, Jorge Ruiz, and Ryan Zefferjan. I think that's a good group right there. Good mixture. We got enough relievers. We got enough pitchers. We got tons of depth everywhere we need, and I'm pretty happy about it. I think that's a good crew there. I don't think we really need to do much now. We'll just kind of keep it rolling. There isn't any more free agents I'm excited about. There really isn't much I need to do here. So we'll kind of sim through this, get us to the end of this. Would you like? No. So there's some, Brusdar, Gratterall, Lucas Gill. Like, there's some pretty decent guys there. They're just not for me. So we'll sim to the renewable contracts there. And as you can see, we don't have any issues there. So I'd say this group looks really solid. Technically, if I were to move, right, Cabrera is a top. Well, I have Buddy Kennedy. I mean, technically, if we moved one of the shortstops or one of the second basemen over to third base, technically would be cool. And that would be an area that would not be an issue, but I'm not worried about that. I think we got a very good group of players. The pitching stuff has got to get worked out, but the outfield is in a great condition. We're going to work through that. The spring training aspect isn't something I'm so really prone to really playing. Today is the final big board I don't really care for that. We don't really need to do much there. So tomorrow is the last day to renew the contracts. Nope. So we are out of off season and we are in spring training now. So I'm pretty pumped about this. I think we got a good crew, guys. Like, it's going to be really fun to see who's going to be pitching a little bit more often. We're going to try them out in the off season, but we got so many pitchers now that in a spot that I'm okay. It's tough. We brought back a guy, right, like Sandoval, and we let go a guy like Reed Detmers, who's still so young that could take it to another level. But when you drafted someone like Bruno Ramirez and he ends up being so legit that it's time for him to move up, you got to try. He's another lefty as well. So it's not like we gave up a ton. We still got a bunch of other left-handed prospects that I'm okay with. But I'm excited to see what would happen with Woodruff. What would happen with some of these other pitchers? Like, how could it work out? So the more and more we kind of work through this, the better. We're going to see a lot of youth out there. I'm excited to see what happens to somebody like Crosby. Crosby is a starting pitcher, so it'll be really fun to kind of see him out there a little bit more. I don't know if we're going to lean on Luke Weaver. I really don't want him out there kind of blowing his freaking arm up. Shane Baz, Soriano needs some work, but Shane Baz, he'll play long reliever potentially or middle reliever, but I really don't want anyone losing their mind. Gilbert Villalobos, I'm excited to see how he's going to pitch, which means I'm not going to probably see much of Shane Baz. I want to see what do we got with some of these youth. Can we get these guys kind of getting some reps in there? And Gilbert Villalobos will go back down to the AA, but it's really not a bad situation for us now. A little bit of a longer episode for sure. I didn't expect us to have this much of a key thing here, but what I'm excited about is that these guys, I'm hoping, take a step forward. I think we have a very good crew. It's just going to take us some time. There's some extensions I got to think about making, but I'll do that offline and kind of talk through it. But I could clearly see a lot of these guys that are out there. There is a big chance we're going to bring a lot of them back. It just makes a whole lot of sense to do that. Some of the guys on the top for sure, pretty much from Caden Donna up, I could see myself making some contract moves very, very soon. Our budget though should be pretty solid. We have $33 million left to play with. So we're going to be just fine. We spent some money though. And the hope is that we'll see something in Trout, man. I need this guy to pop off. but he's going to be our designated hitter moving forward, so we don't got to worry about that. He's never going to have to play in the outfield, so that's a nice thing right there. He doesn't have to worry about that. He should hopefully be healthy for the whole season. So we'll work through that, but that'll do it for us today, everybody. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. Like I said, a little bit of a longer episode, but I'm cool with that. We got a chance to kind of build this team up and really retool it. I think we got a good group of prospects, good group of starters, and just a good 26, in my opinion, that'll be ready to roll. So we'll get that going. But that'll do it for us today. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. I appreciate everyone that stopped by today. Y'all have yourself a good one, and as always, let's go Angels.